let's talk about solutions. So, that's a very, very quick overview. Obviously, I've got limited time here, and I don't want to get too bogged down with the science, but I've, touched the main points there. And so I want to share some solutions, things you can do. And obviously, I'll be taking your questions afterwards. And if you've got more questions on the science, then I would be happy to answer those. But in terms of solutions, again, we're back to I like to think about this in terms of the wireless and the wired. And firstly, we're going to look at the wireless. So, cell phone. We can't talk about wireless without talking about cell phones, because everybody and the dog's got a cell phone these days. So here's the thing, okay? My number one recommendation is to stop using a cell phone. If you can, stop using a cell phone and use other devices to communicate. I do not own a cell phone, and my wife has a cell phone. And yeah, I know that, if you travel and things, a cell phone's really important. But we're in a world where we've got this reliance on cell phones. And if we can wean ourselves off that reliance, that is the way to go. And I know that's brutal, but I'm putting that out there right at the beginning. That's sort of an aim, really, as I see it, because we're feeding the beast. While we're paying money, a lot of money to the cell phone companies, then we're feeding the beast of this thing which we call wireless. So, why is it important to talk about cell phone in this conversation today in terms of solutions? Because the cell phone is, for most people, the worst offender. And it's the thing you have to look at because of, how people are using it, putting it very close to their brain. It's a very, if you want fast results, then this is the way to get fast results, is to get really rigorous in terms of how you're using your cell phone. And it is drastic, I know. So less drastic are some tips, which I'm going to share with you, things you can do to use your cell phone more safely. And so just a few, very quick things here. Free and easy things. So limit the calls, limit those calls to only those which are absolutely necessary. Prefer to text, not talk. No, that's not to say that texting all day long is perfectly safe. That, that has its health implications also. Just go to my website and you can see there's a lot of thousands of comments on there from people who have symptoms from using cell phones and other EMF devices, and certainly texting is very clearly in there. It is a problem, and I don't believe there's any actual studies on this, but the anecdotal evidence is very clear. Avoid using your phone next to your ear. Use speakerphone as a preference if you can. So that's free and easy to do. And there's something really important to retain here with EMFs. Whenever we're talking about EMFs, and it's the following: distance is your friend. Okay, and what that means is the more distance you can put between the device, whatever it is, the cell phone, okay, this is a glasses case, it's not a cell phone, whatever, the greater the distance you can put between the device and yourself, the better. And the reason that this is important is because most EMFs propagate in an exponential manner. That's to say, quite simply, that gaining just a few millimeters can sometimes reduce your exposure by thousands of times. So distance really is not just your friend, it's like your best friend. It's very, very important, okay, to gain distance between the device and yourself. So those are free and easy tips, and more free and easy tips: go easy on the apps, avoid streaming, particularly movies and videos, because that really makes your phone work hard, increases your exposure. Delay putting it to your ear when you're calling, because it's that initial connection, when you're making that initial connection, where the exposure is the greatest. And avoid carrying your cell phone directly on your body when it's switched on, yeah? Because we've got this magnetic field problem also at close proximity, which can be in the order of 30 to 40 milligauss. That doesn't probably mean much to you, but it's very significant. Okay, let's just put it like that. And so some more free and easy tips, get wise about the bars. You want to be using your cell phone when you've got maximum bars. Maximum bars means strong signal, okay? Just like 1 bar means your phone is having to work extremely hard to maintain the connection between, the cell tower or whatever it is. It's, the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth device or whatever wireless connection it is operating on. Then you always want to have the maximum bars. Avoid carrying your cell phone directly on your body, as I said before, to avoid this radio frequency and magnetic fields. Delay putting it to your ear. Avoid using your phone in a moving vehicle, and never sleep with a phone switched on at night. So okay, I'm just checking the time here just to check, see how we're doing, but I think we're doing okay. So never sleep with a cell phone switched on at night beside your bed. You don't want anything wireless, in fact, anything electrical in your bedroom. Okay, and we'll get to that in a little while, and you'll be able to ask questions on this for more clarity on this whole subject. Some more free and easy tips, because I know people like free and easy. Make airplane mode your best friend. So putting it on airplane mode, so your cell phone's got these 3 kinds of wireless functionality: the cellular, which will be the 3G, the 4G, the 5G, whatever, the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, and possibly also the GPS, and possibly also like a separate data and streaming functionality. Just depends on the phones. You want it on airplane mode, and this will turn off all radiation emissions, and that's what you need to be assured of, is that it actually does that. The only actual way you can know if it's doing that is to test with an EMF meter, and I've got one here which I can show you very quickly. There we go. Hope you can see that. So that is a Cornet ED88T Plus meter, which is a really great meter for measuring. And that's I'm always encouraging people to actually use a meter to don't trust what I say, don't trust what anybody says. Get a meter, test it for yourself. That way you're sure. Don't trust your phone either. That's with regard to airplane mode. So let's talk about Wi-Fi. So let's be clear why it's important to talk about Wi-Fi. Well, firstly, because of the nature and complexity of the signal. So it uses this radio frequency microwave radiation, which thousands of studies are showing has these adverse effects, these various different adverse effects on our health. What I was talking about before, the effects on the DNA, on the enzymes, on the stem cells, on all this really impacting us at a cellular level and at an energetic level. That's what this radio frequency microwave radiation is doing. And so most Wi-Fi networks work with a carrier signal of 2.4 gigahertz, and then this is modulated, which just means like turning off this signal in a certain rhythm, and this is how the data is transmitted. Yes, these whatever that is, sounds, words, images, etc., or pulsed, and it's this pulsing that is believed to be particularly dangerous. And that's a bit of a simplification, all of that, but I'm just saying it's the nature and complexity. That's the best, easiest way of resuming this. And again, I'm not a scientist here, folks, so I'm sharing with you my research, and I have been researching this a long time, and I've spoken to a lot of experts. I have a podcast, a bi-monthly podcast, which I've been running since 2014. I've written a book on it, as you've seen, and so it's for you to make your form your own opinion on this. So that's the first thing, the nature and complexity of the signal. Wi-Fi is particularly harmful. The second thing is, many of us are exposed to it 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no escaping it. And that is a problem. And it's this kind of jarring our cells, jarring our energy systems. And there's nothing like this in nature. There's nothing like these frequencies in nature, these pulse modulated radio frequency microwave exposures. There is nothing polarized exposures. There's nothing like this in nature. So be wary of Wi-Fi. So how to make your Wi-Fi safer? Well, number one, move your router, and I say router because I'm English. So move your modem router as far away as possible from the rooms where you spend any time. That's the first thing. You don't want that modem router in your bedroom. You don't want it in your office. You don't want to be sat next to. You don't want to spend any time next to that modem router. You want it as far away as possible, but still be able to get the signal. Second thing is switch off your Wi-Fi at night. Why the heck would you have the Wi-Fi on at night? Yeah, you can sleep and surf the internet at the same time. Yeah. So no, you do not need the Wi-Fi at night, and you can use an app to switch it off. Something like the Linksys app. And sorry, so what I didn't say was you can also use a mechanical timer, which costs about $10 online. And that is my recommended way of deactivating, switching off. Yeah, don't rely on the modem router settings to do this for you. You want to actually electrically disconnect it. That way you're sure it's off. And again, the best way to be absolutely sure is with an EMF meter, is to get the readings, have one of those so you can be sure. But my number one recommendation is actually to do away with the Wi-Fi, and is to use Ethernet cable, to hardwire. And this does mean having wires. Yes, I know. But it's way faster, it's safer, and in terms of health effects, honestly, it's a no-brainer. It really is, and that's what counts. So yeah, installing wires, and you can do this. You can just run the wires initially along the corridor or whatever, or around the room, and then further down the line you can get an electrician to install this in a more proper manner. And there are other workarounds to this using existing wiring, which can also be explored. So that's with regard to the wireless. And now I want to talk in terms of about solutions a little bit for the wired. And for the wired, so again, we're back to this forgotten less talked about aspect of EMFs, these wired exposures. And so there's three types. There's the electric fields, the magnetic fields, and the dirty electricity. And as you can see, this is a problem in all rooms which have electricity. So which is every room of your home, I'm pretty sure. And so here's a 7-day challenge. What I propose you do is you go to your breaker panel, which looks something like that, maybe not quite as high tech as that, and switch off the bedroom circuit. Normally that will be noted, what the bedroom circuit is. If it's not, you can work it out via a process of deduction, switching off and then going to the bedroom and seeing if you've still got electricity. Do this for 7 days, okay? And what this will do, it will eliminate electric fields, magnetic fields, significantly reduce your dirty electricity when you're sleeping, which is super important, because it's when you sleep that your body rejuvenates, regenerates. You've got the detox going on, and just a whole load of cellular activity which enables your body to heal. And if you've been zapped 24/7, I remember what I was saying about the studies on the melatonin, and how melatonin production is impacted, is reduced, through these different EMF exposures. Just that alone, we know the cancer protective properties of melatonin. Just that alone, this makes it a no-brainer. So here's, just to be clear, I am not saying that this is going to guarantee solve your problem, improve things for you, because sometimes you can get some rather weird, wonderful imbalances in electrical system, which means that by switching off the bedroom circuit, you actually get a higher electromagnetic field, from the other circuits, and in which case you would need to switch off the other circuits. So this is very much a trial and error and a temporary solution. So I recommend you do it for 7 days, and then if it does work, then look towards installing a more long-term solution, automating it, which is what I have, for instance. It just does it itself, and then we've got kind of remote controlled automations, so that you can actually have your cake and eat it, in terms of you're not being exposed to these EMFs when you're sleeping, but when you sleep, switch the light on, the electricity is there. Okay, that is possible, technically possible, and it's not that expensive. And frankly, this is where you get the most bang for your buck in terms of EMF protection, is what you can do in the bedroom. It's where you must focus. So try that, and it's very much a suck it and see. If you do feel better, then all well and good. And if you don't, then maybe explore, and maybe invest in an EMF meter and figure out why you don't feel good. Maybe get the electrician in. Maybe he will know something about EMFs. Not all electricians do. In fact, many don't know about EMFs. But if you get a sympathetic electrician, then that's a conversation you can have with regard to, explaining what's happening with your meter, and him going around, and he'll be understanding with his tools what's happening, and there's a problem, possibly a wiring error, which is causing this. But certainly, and this is very powerful. This reducing significant, because we can never truly eliminate, but we can significantly reduce our exposures in the bedroom, is hugely powerful in terms of your health. So yeah, so that's what I recommend, and that's really my presentation, as much as I got to share here. And I know I've gone through this very quickly, and so perhaps you have questions which you would like to ask me following what I've presented here, and I'm very happy to take questions, any questions that you have.